Today's podcast is brought to you by Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. You can find links in the description of this podcast, and you can find Paul.
Drinking my coffee.
There.
I couldn't even. I guess you're over there. I have a hard time with spatial dimensions.
It is hard. It's especially because my feed is mirrored, and it's even.
Sure.
Here we are. It's Friday.
Whew, finally, huh?
Yeah, we made it.
You excited to get in the car with the kid? Go on a little trip with all your St. Patrick's Day candy and whatever.
So, I need
to
explain this. So this happened, when was St. Patrick's Day? Wednesday,
I think.
So, on Wednesday, I went to leave to get my kid, and my wife went shopping, and she was getting Easter stuff, like an Easter basket surprise stuff, because my kid is doing horseback riding, and they had a sale and all that stuff. So my wife goes out and does that, and I'm getting the kid, and my wife comes back, and she had a meeting right away, and so she put the stuff on the counter, and we get home from school, my kid just sees all of it. It just is like, wow. And my wife texts me an expletive. She's like, I forgot to put that stuff away.
Yeah, too late. Genie bottle.
So in our house, we celebrated a tradition that kids get presents on St. Patrick's Day, like nice gifts.
And welcome to celebrating that for the rest of your child's life.
She was so happy.
I mean, jeez, the dumbest made-up holiday in the history of holidays, and now you have a tradition.
Yeah,
it's so good. I guess it's better than trying to trap a little mythical creature.
The leprechaun
box,
hunt
which
thing.
is apparently a thing these days too. I don't know.
So anyway, every year on St. Patrick's Day, I guess we get our kid gifts or something. I don't know.
It's Cadbury. Thanks you for your efforts.
Yeah.
Are they still a thing?
Yeah, well, she's going to learn about Cinco de Mayo. My daddy gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is going to, because I'm going to send her a box of candy on that day too.
Anyways, what's old is new again. If you want a Nook, you can now buy one.
Well, by the way, assuming it was a decent device. Sorry, I got a weird text message. What am I assuming? What, Paul? Sorry, I just thought this might be a health-related thing, but it was a hotel-related thing. Anywho, I apologize. It's not live. You could probably edit that out.
Nah, we're gonna.
Yeah. Okay. So, assuming it's a decent tablet, there's no reason not to get it, right? It's an Android tablet. It's Google Play. It's made by Lenovo. It's pretty high quality. It's expandable storage. I don't know what's inside it. It's probably some kind of MediaTek something or something like that. But you never know. I mean, I know there are probably Nook users out there, but I mean, I think a bigger audience of people would be someone who want a reasonably priced tablet, just run stock Android, right? So, yeah, why not? You could put Kindle on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Good. I guess I don't know much about Barnes and Noble's business right now. But I know it wasn't healthy.
A lot about it, because I went in once in the past year, and like every other American, and which I think is all you need to know. I believe they're primarily a coffee shop that has, for some reason, a really large selection of books in front of the coffee shop.
Well, they make good backgrounds for virtual calls, I think.
Yes. Yeah. They have kids' toys, board games and things. They have a record section, a music section, which they've always had, or long had a music section. I don't know. It seems to be primarily about coffee, and then guilt buying of the occasional picture book that, the thing in the front where it's like books are like $1 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Kind of buy one on the way out. It's almost like, tipping the place just for being around. I don't know. We went there because I had to get my phone fixed.
At Barnes and Noble?
No, across the way at the mall. We have one of those outdoor mall things. Yeah, no, it was like, so we literally, they're like, we need like 1 more hour or something, and then we walked out the store. We're like, there's no.
It's got that smell, which is nice.
It's got that smell. It's a nice smell. Good
coffee
and it's the coffee.
Books.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's not a bad place to hang out, I guess.
No. I feel so bad about bookstores. I grew up loving books, reading books, going to bookstores, and the town I lived in didn't have a good bookstore. I always wanted one. Years and years and years went by, and we moved to Phoenix, moved back, and all of a sudden now we have it wasn't a Barnes and Noble, it was what was the other one called? Borders. And it was open for approximately 17 minutes, and the only time I went in it, I felt guilty because I never need to go to bookstores anymore,
Yeah. I still like reading the paperbacks. I don't read enough of them in my life, but
Well, maybe are you going to read this week? You must be.
Actually, we are. I'm going to take. So I've been reading my daughter a book. Actually, it's a second in a series, and we're going to take that, and that's what I'm going to be reading. Is for people
What
who are
is
very.
level of reading are we talking about here?
It's actually a pretty high level reading. Like it's above her reading level.
Okay.
But it's a good like kids book. So we read The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland, which was the first in the series. This one's The Girl Who Fell Below Fairyland. But it's a good book for a parent to read to their kid, unless your kid is like a teenager, but they may not be interested in it at that point.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with this book. I assume this is a more recent.
I don't. Yeah, you know who I recommended this to me? Frank Shaw.
Really?
Yeah. So he read it to his kids. So I'm guessing that it's been around for a little bit.
This is the type of thing that happens to me a lot. Like I'll be like, I've never heard of this in my life, and then I'll mention it to my wife, and she's like, "You used to read this to your daughter," like she know, or I mean, not really, but she'll know exactly what it is, and I just like,
So if you want to bring your kids into more educational things, you should check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott, because it is a podcast that goes behind the scenes with major players in the industry, with people like Sam Altman, Reid Hoffman, Mae Jemison, who was the first African-American woman in space. And that episode is actually going to be linked down in the description below. I've listened to part of it, but I'm going to listen to more of it this week, actually, as I drive a bunch of distances to another location.
She's been really cagey about this.
No, I mean, we're at a Hilton. I mean, it's not.
I'm going to a Hilton, so it's sort of the same thing.
I'm getting in a car and just driving over the Appalachian Mountains, listening to podcasts with my family, kicking and screaming along the way, to go to another house where it's going to be warmer there, but it's not a lot warmer than what we have here. So, anyways, that's Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott.
Probably won't be going in the ocean.
I will not voluntarily be in that ocean unless some sort of object that we bring to the sand ends up in the water.
Right. And then it will depend on the value of said thing.
Right. Like if it's my kid, we'll probably.
Well, you'd be busy videotaping it, so your wife would have to spring in action.
I think she's drowning. This is good footage.
I'm saving this for her prom.
Just don't take her near a pool. Anyways, nothing like a good podcast to end out the Friday. Microsoft actually clarified they didn't clarify, but they announced their March 26th event. It's going to be a Twitch indie game stream, which Microsoft's just had a ton of Xbox news past.
And this is what I had heard. Remember, I think it was not related to, but around the same time as Ignite.
Yep.
There was a March Xbox event coming, and then a Windows event, which we now believe probably is tied to Build. And who knows? There are rumors of 10X being delayed further into the year. Mm-hmm. Maybe this got pushed back to or maybe they're unrelated. I actually have no idea. But anyway, so one of two. And then there's a security event. I don't know if that's ever been announced or whatever, but there's one of those too.
And they're all not in person, which is one.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's expected.
We're not ready.
Not ready for the unwashed masses to congregate. GeForce Now also doubled their price, so if you haven't.
But GeForce Now is a very affordable, right? So it went from like $5 to $10. I mean, it's really you're just paying to access, I guess. It's sort of like Movies Anywhere. Some of your PC-based game collection will be available for streaming, and on whatever devices it supports, which is a lot. So.
Which it is. I don't know. Anything else?
I didn't even look.
I feel like that kind of encapsulates the...
Yeah, we got the Nook thing. Live captions in Chrome is actually pretty huge. If you're hard of hearing or deaf, or just like captions. I mean, my wife and I, because of my child, often use captions. We just use captions. We don't necessarily even need them all that much, but it's one of those things you get used to and like. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there was big, this tangibly related, like the NFL yesterday, announced their next 11 years of media streaming, and Amazon is going to have exclusive. I'm actually somewhat happy about this. I'll explain why. Amazon, at least as long as it's included with Prime, will have exclusive Thursday night game access.
That's right. I was actually kind of happy to see that too, because I don't always pay for TV.
Right. I don't have NFL Network, which is where they was showing up a lot.
Like, oh, okay, good. Like that solves one problem right there.
Yeah. And then I think everything else is pretty much the same. It seems like There weren't
Right.
like you still have Fox and CBS running most Sunday games, and you have NBC, Sunday night. I
Yep.
can't.
And then was it Fox on Monday night?
My,
Or
ABC's in
who's
there maybe
ABC?
somehow.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So
I don't know. I know it's moved around. But
yeah.
whoever NBC used to be Monday Night Forever, right? And they moved to Sunday number of years ago. And then, yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know who does Monday night. I don't know.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is that. And this is the end of the podcast for this week. So make sure to check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. There'll be links in the description below. Check out that episode with Mae Jemison. It is turned out to be a good one, I think. And it's just a fascinating topic, at least to me personally.
You're a fascinating topic.
No more podcasts for a week.
Woo.